After 1,000 years, the mists have finally cleared to reveal Albion, the land of myth and magic beyond the sea. Back in the old world, a king who rules with an iron hand longs for Albion's riches. He summons adventurers to claim the land. Hoping to escape their grim lives, many follow, dreaming of a bright future in Albion. But the journey across the sea is long and dangerous. And only the most daring cross successfully. Those who make it arrive at the shores of this magical land, from where they immediately begin to craft, trade, and conquer. You are among these adventurers. Head out and forge your own destiny in Albion.
And hello there, and this is Kingoftryinit, and I'm here to show you this new game called Albion. Now, I've been playing this for like a week now, and I've needed to learn everything because it's not any other game I've played before, and I can't situate it with anything. So I had to go into like a week's hibernation. So you can probably tell there's been like no content on the channel for like a complete week, maybe a little bit longer, because of real life stuff. So here I am today doing this new game called Albion. If you see it on this channel, you can automatically by default know that it's on mobile. Now, it's not officially on the mobile site yet. In the description below, I will give you a link. It's obviously my referral code, but it also shows you how to get to the game. It'll probably show you premium, no problem. Just look amongst the site and you'll find an APK for Androids that allows you to download this game. After this end of this video, if you still don't understand, you still need guidance, check the end of this video or check on the top right of the screen right now, click there and it will take you through the tutorial. Okay, right, so I'm going to take you through bits and bobs. We're going to skip here and there, but I'm going to show you how to do the tutorial and what to worry about and what to talk about, and I'll explain everything of what you need to know about Albion Online Mobile Edition. Let's get into it. So at the very beginning, you can move around pretty much on the analog as bottom left. Like, so if you've played any games similar, it's pretty much normal there. But here's the catch. You can go into the settings pretty quickly and go ahead and change your buttons. Now, if you're an old school kind of Albion player or whatever, and you prefer the RuneScape type thing of, you touch and you go, where you touch, you can switch the settings by up here on the top right where it says tap controls. And then all of a sudden you can no longer control down there. It's tap where you go. So if I tap here, and it just walks for you. It's like an auto running thing. Now, this is good and all, but personally, I feel like you should stick with the analog because I feel like it's more movement and better. Again, it's down to yourself. This will give you more of a mouse kind of feeling type thing. But if you're on a touchscreen on a mobile, I suggest not going for this, really and truly. But it's completely your call. However, your key and your setup, like your moves, all go along the bottom there. So that's completely different as well. And then obviously you see here, if you've got the skills attached, then, everything takes effect of your running and all these other wonderful things. Okay, let's move on to the next part because there's a lot of tutorial. People got stuck here. Even I did on my first playthrough. If you haven't seen my first impressions of the game, go check it out. It's on the top right now. But yeah, I got confused, action button. I was just what, the attack button? So I was attacking or pressing the sword button. What it means by that is if you go up to an NPC and you touch it with your finger on the actual character itself and it brings it up. Like magic, I can't believe in my first playthrough how long I got stuck on this bit already instantly. But again, if you haven't played a game like this, you don't know what to expect. Now, I'm not going to read the whole storyline or what it's asking me to do because the storyline and how this works is pretty straightforward. If I did a whole video on this of me taking you through the whole tutorial, and if you really want it, comment below. If there's enough comments and likes on that particular comment saying you want to see me walk through the tutorial, then I'll do it. Okay, so I'm going to paraphrase and speed run a lot of this. It is interesting. Now, we've just made our first beginner sword, tier 1. The tier 1 is the icon on the top left. That will tell you what tier it is. At the moment, at the beginning of the game, you can only use tier 1 and tier 2 items. And to get to tier 3, you have to use tier 2. But a video for this is going to come much, much later, explaining the weapons in detail. For now, we're just going to talk about the sword. Now, the sword has 2 skills. One gives you like, an instant strike and it affects your attack speed. But the other one will give you more damage, I believe, than the first. No, it doesn't. It gives you less damage. But there's stacks to it. And obviously, those depending on those charges, increases your movement and your attack speed also. Depending on what you like or what your play style is what skill you choose. By choosing one of those skills, you will give yourself a skill below. So now you can see now that I have a skill right there. And obviously it has a cooldown. If I go to over here and then switch it to this one, I will have a different skill. So as you can see, the weapons you get gives you different skills. And the higher tier, the more skills it has on that weapon, it gives you more individual skills at once. All right, so let's continue. We're just going to get a shield. Now, as far as I know at the moment, shields don't give you skills, but I really doubt that they don't. I believe they do. But this first shield doesn't give you anything. But normally everything you wear and get can give you a skill of some sort that allows you to be more proficient in combat. All right, so let's show you the combat. So obviously you can click on them like this and you'll start auto attacking. All right, so this is pretty much it. You click on them and you attack. You can also attack by, I believe, pressing the sword button and it will also slash. If you do the skill, you take considerably more damage and then obviously a different attack animation will happen. Now that was just one of the skills. If I switch to another one and come back here, this is a different skill now. As you've noticed, when I've switched skill, I have a 10-second cooldown. So you can't just switch skills nilly-nilly in combat. If you do that as a healer, that's 10 seconds, all your team will die. So try to pick what you're suited for before fighting. So now I'm going to attack, do the move, and there you go. It's a completely different effect. And I've got like a little stack thing now. So I've got like a sword going around me. So that's what this does. So 2 of those skills do something different. Okay, now this, looks more complicated than it is. If you are not from my generation of gaming, as you know, I'm young here, but I'm quite an old geezer. And in my day, I thought I could be the one. But no, truly, seriously, this is basically a Final Fantasy X grid. Now, if you're not familiar with that, and that makes no sense to you, don't worry about it. But if you've played that game, this will help you. So basically you've got this thing in the middle here. This is like your center skill, right? And you use fame. Now fame is experience. That's what fame is. Fame is experience points. You get that from killing, gathering, all sorts of stuff. All right. You can even find books that give it to you. All right. And it's really just basic. Like I will go into this on another video on its own, but I'm going to give you the basics of what you need to know right now. Okay, so as you can see here, it says trainee fighter, right? And obviously you got trainee gatherer. So if you use gathering stuff like getting grass, cutting trees, stuff like that, that's that tree that will branch out into individual skills for getting grass, for getting stone, vice versa. Everything has its individual level, even fishing. Obviously, then you've got crafting, all right? So you gather the items, but you still got to make them into weapons, capes, all this stuff. That has its own individual level as well. If you've played RuneScape, it's very similar to that, but they don't have this grid. And then you got trainee fighter, which we're doing literally right now, which is the sword and shield or anything combat based, basically. That's what that is. Okay, so everything's gone into these main stats. Now it's just showing here the requirements for next level. So here are requirements for next level. It will say what you need to get to what and what. So basically, for this point right now, all I got to do is use any weapon and kill things, and that will grow and it will open up a spectrum for other things for me to do. But for example, if I go into Mage Staff, because it will branch off, I've got to use a Novice Fire Staff to get a tier 3 Arcane Staff, Ice Mage, and all that stuff. It'll branch out again. Okay, different example, if I wanted to use a sword and shield, it would branch out into the sword area where there'll be dual-wielded blades, other like melee type weapons, like close quarter combat type things. All right, that's how that works. And obviously down there just allows you to track it, which appears on your screen, so you don't have to always come back to this board part. Seriously, this game has so much. It's just so much. So this area here is about buying stuff. Again, on its own, I will go through this, but here's the basics. It just wants you to buy a mule because it's just saying that in this game, you can buy stuff off the market. And it allows you to give yourself a mount, which is great because you get a mount at the beginning of the game. Like, seriously, what game gives you a mount? Now, what's great about mounts is that they don't give you an attack buff or anything like that, but what it does is that it helps to add to your carry weight. So as you see now on the right there, I'll put a marker there. That is now showing that I am not over encumbered, like I'm not carrying too much. But if I put it back down here, it's almost full. And the more you carry, the heavier you become. And if you become too heavy, if that gets 100% or over, I start to move really slowly. In a PvP zone, that's not only telling people that you've got a lot on you and you can be robbed, but you can't even run or escape from them. So you're just easy pickings. So you don't ever want to be like that. For now, since we don't have a bag, we don't own it, a mount is going to do that for us. So we put it back on there like so. And now all of a sudden now we have got loads of space and we're all good. And on the bottom left, we can now ride it. That increases our movement speed. And it's a nice little gift. So in this part of the quest, I did get a bit confused again. So I thought I'd just say a little bit on it. All it wants you to do is make the tools to gather wood and stone, which is funny because you're thinking, wait, I can gather trees and wood and stone without items. What's the point? Obviously, of course, what it means is that it allows you to gather it more efficiently. Instead of getting 2 wood, if you have an axe, you can get, 4 or 5 wood, basically. You just get more. Because right now, all I'm getting is, 1 stone per time. So what the game wants you basically do is to gather it with your hands first from this area, which is really, really good, actually. And then by getting it from here, it will allow you to make the tools to allow you to do better. Okay, so here's another thing. Now, a lot of people will have trouble finding bridge logs because they're cutting trees, and I'm just like, where's the bridge logs, man? Bruh, I've been waiting a long time, man. Bridge logs is this tree here. You just look, it looks awkward. It's white. And there you go. This is the bridge logs here. This is how you do this particular quest. And it's just one of the trees. Obviously, if you go to a tree like this, it's just going to be rough logs, and that's not what you're looking for. Okay, and it will take considerably longer as well, and you'll be able to go, hey, what is this? I got lost here because the map is a bit different in this game. It's not so bad here, but later in the main world, it gets real, like, confusing for new players, personally. So, yeah, all it is saying that you're not going straight up here and then turning right. It is at this bit here before all these kind of crafting areas. Turn right up here and it's a completely different zone, and here is where it wants you to get stone ore and fiber. It wants you to get it from the mountain fort. It doesn't want you to get too much, just a bit, and you should be fine. Just remember to follow the marker on the map. Okay, so this bit, they just want you to kind of learn how to craft. So we're at that part. So yeah, we're just smelting basically what they're asking us to do. I'm just gonna smelt all of it, why not? Destiny fulfilled, that just means that obviously I've leveled up in that area of making bars. Then you go over to this person, you do the exact same thing. It's just showing you literally how to play the game, basically, all the basics. And this tutorial isn't very long because once you know all of this is the game. Of course, when you go out battling, doing dungeons and learning the monsters' attack patterns, obviously all of that's going to take time. So this is what the final part of the tutorial looks like. It's snow, you got a boat. Once you get on this, you can't come back here. This place is literally exclusive for newcomers of just starting the game or anyone that creates a new account. Now, here's your choice here. You can either stay on this island and practice out, a few of the weapons to see what you're kind of gonna like. Don't get me wrong, the fire staff is definitely more like fire mage, but once you've mastered that and go to tier 3, that's when you diverge and start going to arcane, healer, stuff like that. And honestly, it doesn't take long at all. So if you want to stay here and train that up or do whatever you want, or just test out a few weapons or like the bow, see what it's like, get a feel for it, go for it. And again, obviously the sword, if you want to have a go at that, have a go at that. Okay. But if you are a crafter and want to make things, take your time, this is a great place to do that. You don't want to jump on this boat yet. You want to go back, get a lot of stupid wood and stone, gather a hell of a lot, as much as you can physically carry, because everything you've got on you, you keep on you. So go back, go get all that stuff, because if you sell it instantly, you're going to make a stupid amount of silver, and it's going to make you tier 5 pretty instantly if you do that. There's a lot of more steps to it than that. I will make a guide for that. Not now, but I will make a guide for that. And go check that out to make money real fast and level yourself up really fast in 2 hours. Because some new players will take 2 to 3 days just to get to tier 5, tier 6. You can get it in 2 hours. 2 hours. Maybe less than that if you really know what you're doing. So if you want to be chilled out and you're going to join a guild, but deep down in your heart you're not going to be super active, then the best thing you can be is a crafter. Craft it, take your time, because that's a long skill anyway, so you got to take your time and relax and enjoy it. Get your members to help you out, the ones that are training and playing every day, to help you do transport quests and stuff to help you grow. And then when you get the rare resources, because they're going to need you, you're going to be invaluable, because if you can make rare weapons, they don't have to do 10-20 runs to find it. You can just make anything, particularly anything. So you're invaluable. All right. So if you want to be that casual chill player, you are really, really valuable, because not many people still do it, in my mindset anyways. So that's the beginning of the tutorial and stuff like that so far. I've only got a few more things to show you round about here, and then want to go into the real serious stuff that you need to know. This bit is for clan joiners. Now, if you're going to come and join the new clan called Soul is going to be represented for free-to-plays, chills. Basically, you've just come here to enjoy the game, and it's not so serious. Later on down the line, that might be a second one, which is going to be our own personal made alliance, and that's going to be very serious players with PvP and all that stuff. A lot of people are still learning the game at the moment, so we're just going to take a time. We've got nothing to lose, because we don't want to rush into stuff and lose everybody's stuff. Okay, now when you're leaving the tutorial island, you want to pick I believe Mountain Cross, I believe it's called. Let me just check. I believe it's Mountain Cross, or is it Steps? No, wait. Highland Cross. Let's just check. I want to be double checking, because I'm a bit awkward. Yeah, so you want to go to Highland Cross. Okay, our clan, if you want to join us, if you're watching this video, we're in Martlock right now as the main city. The closest starting point is Highland Cross. Pick Highland Cross, please. Please, because if you don't, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get here. All right, it's going to be very, very awkward, and yeah, it's very stressful for the veteran players to help you out. Okay, so if you want gear, weapons, free stuff, and you want to have a good start and have fun and have a good clan with good vibes and good sense of humor, because they are a bunch of jokers, then please join that location. All right? And then voila, you're starting a quest town with loads of quests. You can do the quest if you wish. You definitely can. They will give you stuff, but this game is not about quests. You will do a few quests and that's it. There's nothing else. Seriously, that's not what this game's about. You craft, you make, you explore, you talk about, you trade. If your goal is just to be the richest person in Albion, good luck. People have had 3 years starting you. But if that's your dream and that you want to do, you can do that. You can just be a man that sells things. Obviously, you start here and you've got all of this to explore. All of this. And I'm telling you, it would take you very, very long to just run around. Because some of them are red zones and they'll just kill you for just going in there. So that will stop your adventure very quick. And that's just amazing. There's just so much to explore. So for explorers, it's amazing. Okay, it is fun. Now, that's nothing. The real adventure, if you look on the bottom right of the screen, this is a small content. All right, small continent, sorry. This huge mofo is a whole new adventure. So once you've max level, which you can max level if you focus on one class in 7 days, maybe shorter. One of our members did it in 4 days, but he did buy some books with silver and get XP that way, because there's multiple ways to level up. But natural grinding, you can do it in 7 days if you focus and do the right places. And you can pretty much go here if you've got the gear and stuff, but you have to have a big clan and stuff like, because this place is basically, as I've been told so far, is a big ass PvP zone where you claim it, you put your own actual camp there, and you start to do actual world domination stuff type thing. And this is like the other main part of the game, and again, you can explore all these areas. These areas have got all sorts of things going on, and it is 3 times huger than the place that you start. And I don't mean tutorial island, I mean just the area below. So that's crazy. There is so much to do. Unlike some mobile games you play and you just like, you see these things in the future and you're like, wow, I can't wait for that to come out in 3 years. This is already out. You can already go here, but you don't want to go here yet. You can go here instantly if you want to. You just won't survive. All right, this is the basically player-owned continent. All right, so if you are PvP and you're good at raising a community, and you're maybe a YouTuber, a big YouTuber, then you have chances of basically claiming this land. Because you got to remember, this is one server. So if you can conquer, you're going to be renowned. You're going to be known and remembered. It's a big deal. So that's pretty exciting. That's pretty damn interesting. Okay, so here's another thing. Join a guild as soon as possible. So you may not join this one in particular. However, joining a guild unlocks so many things in the game, gives you passive things and availability to some things, and just help from your members. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of solo and one player content in this game completely. However, the issue is that eventually you may get a bit limited, because there's going to be certain things you want to do, like faction. You're not going to be able to take over a flag or a base alone. It's just not happening. So guild up or team up with people as soon as possible to greatly increase how much content you can do or take part in this game. Now, factions. Join this as soon as possible. Now, you can be killed by other players that are not your faction, and that can put you in danger. In a yellow and blue zone, you are still safe. You can be killed. You'll still lose 5% Jura, but the difference will be is that instead of staying in a dungeon down, you'll be teleported to the nearest faction point that you control. That's the only issue with it. But if you're factioned, you could get yourself an extra 5, 10, or 15% more fame. And fame is experience, and that will level you up fast. If you combined it with a Grandmaster Satchel Insight or a bag like this, it's going to increase your fame even more so. However, don't use this bag if you've got silver is an issue. If silver is real bad, do not, I repeat, do not do this. It will hurt you so much. Okay, but if you are confident and silver is not an issue and you've got a good money making method, then do this. This is gonna skyrocket your levels so much. So if I get a level 3 faction buff, 15%, including to this, I'm getting 70% roundabout more fame, and that's a big deal. If I go to yellows and do a group dungeon and do as less people as possible, it's nearly like 2 to 3k fame per kill. The rippers. So many players make this mistake. I did, and sometimes still do. Do not, when doing lower zones, if you've got a big team or you've got enough stuff, just go in tier 4 stuff. All right, use a lower horse, probably not even a tier 5 horse. The higher the rarity of the stuff that you wear, the more expensive it is when you go down. It's 5% on everything, not what you've got on your body, but in your inventory. So if you're doing multiple group dungeons, solo dungeon runs, and you don't want to go back to base yet, here's your issue. If you go down, even by accident, for whatever reason, everything in there gets damaged, and you can't sell anything if it's not perfect 100% repaired. Okay, so if you're gonna go in your best stuff and nuke a dungeon, stuff like that, just make sure not to die. That's fine. You can go in your tier 8 stuff, just make sure not to die. But if you die, that's the punishment. You're gonna be messed up. You're gonna be spending 300, 400k on one death. It's a waste of silver. 400k silver on one death is a waste of money. Don't do it. Back to the market again. I can't go through all of this, but it's such a painful mistake players make. I've got to bring it up quickly for the last part of this video because it's gone on too long already. Right, guys, when selling stuff, you want to sell like this. If it's a item or an armor, you always want to go sell order, because you can see here you'll get more for sell order than you do for getting sell instantly. Sell instantly gives you the money instantly, but it sells it considerably cheaper most of the time. However, sell order will, basically sell it for much higher, 149, and that will fluctuate and change. So when you've got items like that, just sell it like that. It's a good practice to do as well. If you're not sure, or you've got an item like this, for example, and you want to sell it, just give it a quick check. Like, go to sell, see it's 14, go to sell order, 99. Do you know what I mean? It could have been 44 again still, but it looks like it wasn't. But if it's the same as that, then just go ahead and just, sell it instantly. Don't worry about it, especially if it's a low tier item. Okay, guys, don't waste your money potential. There are so many things. Okay, guys, it's been a very long video. This will be the last one for now. We'll have to do a part 2. We'll have to. The Adept Tome of Insight. It's a tier 4 XP book. I believe at tier 4 is where it becomes tradable. I've not seen any lower tiers that are tradable, but let's just talk about the tier 4 for now. If you find this in a dungeon, which you will do, don't use it. Now, I know 10k fame sounds nice, and it is, especially for low levels. It's amazing for you guys. But here's the catch. These are also the only books that can be sold. And if you can sell it at the start of the game especially, you need the silver. Alright? This life where you sell books or buy books, whatever, is for the people that have got the silver much further in the game and they're trying to get their 5th or 6th class and they can't be asked to train it anymore. It's for those people. So they're gonna buy it off you. I sell mine at 40, sometimes 60k. Because at one point, these books just go crazy. People buy them all out, and the only ones left are 60k or whatever. And then they end up buying these because people can pay to win in this game, but it's not really pay to win in this game. Another video, another time. Is Albion, pay to win? We'll talk about that in the next one. But that's it, guys. If you get this, trust me on this one. Sell them. All right. I believe it's minimum 27k, but you can try push it up if you want to, but obviously sell order the books.